What up, y'all? This is Recon, signing back into 6 days of snow. I don't know why I did that, but oh well, hey, I'm enjoying myself, okay? Give me a break! Okay? Give me a break! Alright, we're back into this. We've now decided to go ahead and go to the hot springs, which I'm kind of getting the suspicious feeling we're gonna run into Reiko. Which I don't think is going to be entirely a good thing. Okay, I made my way to the springs, ready to relax in the hot water as I let it... What? Wash away my anxieties? Such a thing would only have been possible if the water was hot enough to induce amnesia, but I tried to be hopeful. Soon I knew I would be back in Tokyo. But, for now, I was still in the countryside, where it was so quiet you could hear your own heart beating if you listened hard enough. The sound of my own heart mingled with my footsteps against the falling snow. It was beating rather placidly, with little to stimulate or excite. Can't read. With little to stimulate or excited. But when I arrived at the hot springs, a towel around my waist and my exposed skin prickling on the cool air, I received something of a shock. I wasn't alone. Oh boy. Oh boy. I hope I don't have to censor anything. There, standing in the spring, looking up at the moon with an almost religious reverence, was Reiko. The water barely reached her knees. It left the rest of her body completely exposed. Her flesh was dyed soft, milky white beneath the light of the moon. I could see everything, for she had not yet realized I was here, and had made no motion to cover herself. Her small breasts, tipped with two pale pink... Why are we talking about this? A gentle curve of her hips as they segued into her thighs. Segued? You mean Is it segued or segued? I don't know. The fine shape of her cast slightly distorted by the water. The bumps of her spinal column beneath her skin. For a few moments I could do nothing, say nothing. All I did was stare. Look away! Tanami, look away! What are you doing? I had thought I would not see Reiko ever again, but there she was, standing before me like some kind of fairy. She seemed too perfect to be real. She was so small, slender, and delicate, I feared she might evaporate in a mist. What are we doing? I am extremely uncomfortable! Moisture trickled down Reiko's body, droplets of water clung to her back, her chest, and beating inside the hollow of her belly button. Is this a good time? Like, seriously, why? Why? Droplets of water clung to Reiko's smooth white cheeks like imitation of tears. Or maybe she really was crying. I didn't know. She was a vision of striking beauty superimposed against the night sky, but it was a discomforting beauty that belied a deep, desperate sadness. As Reiko looked up at the moon, her eyes upturned, her long eyelashes fluttering, it seemed to me that she was dreaming. She was dreaming, and her dreams showed clearly about her face. They shone in her eyes like stars. She was dreaming of a new life, a better life. She wanted to live the rest of her days in a land far removed from this one, where she could be free of her mother, the weight of her expectations, and the constant, crushing fear that she wasn't quite good enough. She would never be good enough. No matter how hard Reiko tried, she couldn't accept the full weight of Miss Kakiuchi's loneliness. It wasn't possible, so Reiko buckled. Of course she did. But running away will only get you so far. I watched her, lost in my own thoughts, but I had the most curious feeling that my thoughts were no longer my own. How could they be, when they all centered around Reiko? Everything that I had, I wanted to give to her. I just wanted to see her smile. Why is this happening? I know it sounds cliche, but I had tarried too long, and the moment had passed. Reiko started, her eyes widening with surprise. Maybe she was alerted to my presence by a soft sigh or a subtle shift in the atmosphere. I don't know. In any event, she turned, her dark hair fluttered and stared. Her eyelashes trembled. Edgy, she said, stammering. Despite the awkwardness of the situation, she still used my birth name like we were close friends. Edgy, she said again, and she showed her. She swallowed, her throat convulsed, and a bead of moisture slid down her slender neck. How long have you been here? How do we get ourselves out of this one? Even more unexpected, yet Reiko did not ask me to leave. Uncomfortability to the maximum right now. In fact, it seemed, with her gentle, flushing face and down-turned eyelashes, she was inviting me to stay. Maybe she wanted me to see her. Who else did she have to show off to, after all? She didn't have anyone. But that was more troubling to me than shocked gasps and embarrassed tears would have been. If Reiko had asked me to go, I would have obliged, because that was how things should have been. It was correct and proper, and most importantly of all, it was understandable. This, however, I could not understand. Yeah! Yes, indeed! I did not know what to do. I didn't know what Reiko wanted me to do. I wanted to stay with her. I wanted to hold her, to take her. I am very, very, very uncomfortable at the moment right now, and I mean, this uncomfortability is to the maximum. I have no clue what to do. But I couldn't. I felt at that moment, as I stood by the edge of the springs, that I was dangerously close to getting what I wanted. And that thought terrified me. It's terrifying me right now! Truthfully, I think I was more scared than she was. So maybe that's why I left. Okay. We got the heck out of Dodge on that one. No. That's a no. Absolutely a no. No. I do not want to be touching that kind of... I do not want to be touching that with a 10-foot pole. As a matter of fact, a 30-foot pole. Stay away from me! Or at least this guy. Why is this kind of thing happening? Why? Oh, dear. And I can't stop reading either. I had been preparing to sleep when I heard it. It was a series of soft, breathy sobs, so quiet I at first thought I had imagined it. I turned over on my futon, eyes sewn tightly shut, and tried to force myself into slumber. But again, just above the moaning of the wind, I heard it. There was a gasp, which was then muffled as though my sleeve or fingers. It was a belated effort. However, because I had already heard it, it appeared that there was a little glossed ghost meandering about outside my room. I could envision it clearly, surprisingly so, perhaps, considering I had never met a ghost before. It seemed inevitable, however, that my little ghost would have long, dark hair and pale brown eyes with a tiny pinhead of a mole beneath her left eye. I knew, even before I rose to my feet and opened the door, who the interloper was. Edgy? My little ghost gasped and took a few shuffled steps backwards. The tatami floor creaked in protest. Maybe the end was lonely too. Reiko, I said, and then my face flushed. I'm not liking where this is going. I couldn't help but remember our early encounter. How could I not? Ever since I had seen her in the hot springs, bathed in the moonlight, I had scarce been able to think of anything else. Though I had tried to sleep, I couldn't. It wasn't possible. My head was too full with thoughts of her. I should have sent her away. I knew I should have, even as she stood there looking at me shyly beneath her eyelashes, but I couldn't. Not when it was obvious at a glance that she had been crying. She was still in the process of crying. In fact, because her eyes were brimming with tears, I had never wanted to hug her more than I did at that moment. I'm sorry if I was bothering you, said Reiko, looking. I mean, after what happened, you probably don't want to see me. No, I do not. I don't. This guy, on the other hand, I have not a clue. Most likely he does. Why am I doing this? It's not that I don't want to see you, I said, my voice strained, but look, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this, and your mother, it will kill me if she finds out about this. My mother isn't here. What? I am very terrified and very uncomfortable at the moment, to the maximum! I'm gonna have to leave it off here, guys, because I don't know when this is gonna turn out. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. If you like this video, press that like button, like you, and as always, stay active and stay connected. I'll see y'all in the next one. This is Zircon, signing out. Bye, y'all.